When I was 18, I thought joining the British Army was the start of a great adventure. I pictured glory, respect, and seeing the world. But that dream shattered on the very first day of basic training. Reality was a brutal alarm clock going off before sunrise. Every single muscle in my body screamed in protest. The instructors were relentless, their voices a constant roar, turning every tiny mistake into a monumental failure. It was designed to break you, and it worked. I watched guys who had been so confident just days before pack their bags and quit, but I held on. Surviving basic training felt like a victory, but I soon realized it was just the first step on a much longer, harder road. Then I started hearing whispers about them. The SAS, the Special Air Service. They were the ghosts of the military, the elite of the elite. Their missions were secrets, their members legends. They only took the best of the best, the strongest, the most resilient. And for some reason, despite the fear and the stories of how tough it was, I knew I had to try. So I volunteered. I put my name down for something that most soldiers wouldn't even dare to dream of. The selection process started in the bleak, unforgiving mountains of Wales. They handed me a backpack that felt like it was filled with rocks, weighing over 25 kilograms, and just pointed towards the hills. The terrain was a nightmare of steep inclines and treacherous descents, and the weather, it was classic Wales. A cold, persistent rain that soaked through every layer of clothing and never seemed to stop. It was pure misery. Every day, the marches got longer. The instructors, who had been so loud in basic training, were now eerily silent. They just watched, their eyes scanning for any sign of weakness, waiting for us to break. And break we did. One by one, the ranks started to thin. I saw men collapse from sheer exhaustion, their bodies giving out on the muddy tracks. Others vanished into the thick fog, their navigation failing them. Some just couldn't take it anymore. They turned around and walked back to the barracks, their dream over. The group I started with got smaller and smaller each day, the silence on the hills growing deeper. Then came the final test of this phase, the one they call the long drag. A 64-kilometer march across the Brecon beacons. But this time, you were completely alone. No team, no support, just you, your map, your compass, and the crushing weight on your back. You had a time limit. If you didn't make it, you were out. No second chances. The mental pressure was immense. Every step was a battle against pain and self-doubt. Your mind screams at you to stop, to just sit down and give up. But you have to keep moving. Reaching that final checkpoint was a feeling I can't even describe. It wasn't joy, it was just relief. A quiet, profound sense of having survived. But passing the long drag didn't mean you were in. It just meant you had earned the right to face the next level of hell, the jungle. They flew us to a place where the air was so thick with humidity, it felt like you were breathing water. The heat was suffocating. Insects were a constant torment, a crawling, biting plague that never left you alone. Sleep was a luxury we rarely got. We learned to navigate dense, disorienting terrain where you couldn't see the sky. We learned to survive on whatever the jungle provided. We learned to fight in an environment that was trying to kill us just as much as any enemy. It was a different kind of challenge. The mountains tested your physical endurance. The jungle tested your resilience, your ability to function when every one of your senses is being assaulted. Just when I thought it couldn't get any worse, we entered the final stage, the one everyone fears the most. Interrogation training. They call it escape and evasion. You're hunted down, captured, and thrown into a living nightmare. A bag is pulled over your head. You're stripped, put in overalls, and locked in a freezing room. For hours, sometimes days, you're subjected to a barrage of psychological torture. Loud, disorienting noises, blast non-stop white noise, babies crying, anything to shatter your focus. You're forced into painful stress positions. Then the interrogations begin. Guards scream questions at you, trying to trick you, to manipulate you, to break your will. The goal isn't to get information. The goal is to see if your mind will crack under the pressure. It's the ultimate test of mental fortitude. Many who made it this far broke here. You see the strongest men you've ever met reduced to a shell. But if you endure it, all the mountains, the jungle, the interrogations, something incredible happens. One day you're standing in a room, exhausted and battered, and an officer walks in. He looks at the few of you who are left and says, "Welcome to the regiment." In that moment, everything changes. You're no longer just a soldier. You look around at the handful of other men who made it, and you know you share a bond that no one else can understand. Out of the hundreds who started, only a tiny fraction remain. The rest have disappeared back into the regular army, their stories ending in the Welsh hills or the suffocating jungle. But for you, for us, this isn't the end. This is where the real work, the real missions, finally begin. You've earned the right to wear the winged dagger, and now you belong to one of the most secretive and elite fighting forces in the world. Thank you for watching this journey. It's a testament to what the human spirit can endure. If you found this story compelling, please like this video and subscribe to the channel for more incredible stories of courage and resilience. See you in the next one.